The other important area is in terms of paintings and one-dimensional ornamentations. Basically here the ruling again is based on the intention that you should not have these paintings of to glorify leaders or tyrants. Um, you're allowed to have paintings of the natural world, uh, but not to venerate people and raise their level up to that of another status. Aisha radiallahu an, there's a long different hadith. I'm giving you one. She had a cushion that had a bird on it, and the Prophet, when he came home, he saw it and he told her to remove it from the position where he can't see it, because he said it reminds him of the dunya. He didn't ask her to throw it out. He didn't ask her to say it's completely haram. He just said, look, I don't like to see that, because it reminds me of this dunya, of the beautiful dunya. And so he asked her to put it in a different position. So the scholars have indicated from this that the Prophet ﷺ didn't really forbid it. But of course, there are many views on the matter in terms of, so generally Muslims have adopted the idea of painting calligraphy and the natural world and geometric designs and other things, and avoid painting human beings and as a way of ornamentation. The other thing connected to this is photographs. Um, all the scholars agree that it's okay in case of necessity that we are allowed to take on photographs. So you have one group of scholars who said, look, all of them agree, necessity such as passports, driver's license, that it's fine. Then you have some of the scholars, they said it is okay to have pictures because it is not creating something from scratch. It is actually just a replication of an image of something that exists already. That the object is already existing and all you're doing is taking an image. And so some of these scholars, they said that in that case, it is okay to do so. There are some others who says, no, it is similar to creating something from scratch. And so they don't recommend that we do that. They say it's prohibited to do so. All of them agree that pictures, the content of it should not be immoral, should not be of tyrants, idols, and those kinds of pictures, which is not encouraged. This area of photographers kind of had a long transition among the scholars. I remember when the first time I went to Hajj, Saudi Arabia prohibited people from taking pictures. They would actually seize your cameras at the airport. So when you go in with a camera, they would check your baggage, and if they find a camera, they would take it away. And they absolutely forbid any pictures being taken in the haram or any of the places. You had to have people secretly trying to take pictures. Now you can go with your cell phone in any part of the haram and take as much pictures as you need. So they have changed their position and evolved now to say, hey, there's nothing wrong with photography. The other question that comes to mind is, can you put up these pictures on the wall? The scholars, some of them said no, keep them in albums. But I had the privilege of visiting one of teachers of mine, actually studied in Saudi Arabia, very learned brother. And when I went to his home, he had a whole wall of pictures, which at that time I didn't know if this was something that is okay. A wall of pictures of his family and all of that. He was from Ghana. And when I saw that, I said, the only way he would have done that is because it's probably allowed. So I went back and looked and says, as long as you don't develop the love and attachment and connection to these things, that's why they recommend you put them in albums rather than put them on the wall. But putting them on the wall doesn't mean that it's not okay. You can do that as well. The key thing is don't become so attached to these things that you stop your life and you just, obsessed over them. Especially some loved ones may pass and you keep looking at their picture and you're crying and you're getting more and more, because pictures emotes deep emotion in people, because it brings back all the memories and so on. So in decorating your homes, it's best to use, natural things. Dogs, this most of the scholars, they consider it makruh to have dogs as pets. Part of the problem is that the saliva of the dog, it it's unclean. There's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said that if a dog licks a plate, you have to clean it 7 times, and one of those times you have to clean it with sand. Dogs also have this incredible ability that people develop deep love for their dogs, even more than cats, which is allowed. We're allowed to keep cats. But dogs, this deep love that we begin to treat them better than human beings. They have found a lot of diseases also with dogs, and the saliva is considered unclean. There's a lot of research that was done about dogs in terms of the uncleanliness of them. We are allowed to keep them on condition that they do 2 things. They hunt or they protect us. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever keeps a dog except for hunting or guarding crops or cattle will lose one of his rewards on the Day of Judgment. So if you just have the dogs like that, you will lose part of the reward on the Day of Judgment unless you're keeping them for hunting and protection. And so the scholars consider it makruh or dislike to have them as pets because of the uncleanliness that you will have to keep cleaning your home all the time.